Now, in this program, any resemblance between the people you see on the screen and real living people is purely intentional. Because, in fact, they are real, and it's our pleasure to catch them in the act of being themselves.
Hey folks, Rogue Nation here with you today. We've got a crazy video coming to us out of Texas from this channel, Eric Miller, KD7LTN, and it's a pretty lengthy video with a lot of cop-splaining, rights violating, gaslighting. So definitely a disgusting display of idiocy on the part of the cops, as always. So check it out. Leave me a comment down below in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this interaction. Go by and offer some support to Mr. Eric Miller. Let him know that we appreciate him recording these interactions. And remember, guys, I'll catch you on the next one, because unfortunately there's always going to be a next one.
Ah, shit, it's dead. What the hell? For some reason it's dead. No.
Never happened?
No.
Is there any reason why someone would believe that y'all are being physical with one another?
Not that I can think of.
What's your name, sir?
What crime am I suspected of?
Excuse me?
Texas Penal Code 3802. What crime am I suspected of?
I'm not necessarily sure what you're asking me. I explained to you why we're here. We got a call about a physical disturbance between both of you.
No. There's no physical disturbance between us.
Okay. I'm just letting you know that's why we were called here.
Yes.
Okay. And what is your name and date of birth?
What am I being arrested for?
You're not arrested. You're just detained right now due to the call that we're here.
This is not a traffic stop. So, what am I being...
For service.
We didn't call you for service.
Someone else called about a physical
I don't...
between you guys.
Was it an anonymous call, or who was the witness?
Yeah. Okay, so...
What is your reasonable articulable
you're
suspicion?
not arrested. Again, we got...
Texas Penal Code 38.02.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure why you keep repeating that. I'm explaining to you we are here...
Because it's a state law regarding ID.
Okay.
So I should not have to... that don't matter.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the disturbance or not?
I told you there was no disturbance.
Okay. So I have to write a report. I need your name.
No, you don't.
Here for a lawful reason.
That don't mean jack diddly poop.
Maybe to you it doesn't.
Under the law, it doesn't, ma'am.
Are you a lawyer? Are you going to school for law?
I've had plenty of experience. I'm 49 years old, just turned 49.
So you realize
I'm a United States Navy veteran.
there are children in there?
Yes, we have a 12-year-old daughter.
Okay.
Almost 13.
Again, we were called here lawfully. We're on here for a call for service. But
Call for service means nothing.
She wants to see Ursula, so I'm gonna grab Ruby and bring Ursula out here.
Whatever.
I can think of this way. You and Ursula got into it out here because I wasn't even involved in that.
She's 12 years old and she doesn't have to be questioned without the accompaniment of the parent. She can have she can have her mom go back with her if that's what she chooses. But if she does not choose to go back there with you, by law, she does not have to.
So we have the authority when people are being detained to put them where we want them for the safety of the security of our investigation.
What reasonable, articulable suspicion that you have that your safety is
Say safety, I said security of the investigation.
and you're talking kind of referring to Pennsylvania v. Mims, which refers to traffic stops, which is
referring to security of an investigation. We're going to come back here with you.
what about her personal security?
I don't know.
You're a male.
That's fine. Everything's on camera. It's fine.
That don't mean squat. Cops violate all the time on camera. Whoa! Whoa! Hughes, back off!
Don't touch me!
Why are you arrested? What the hell are you doing?
he just wants to talk to her.
That don't... Willis?
Yes, sir.
That is considered assault and battery, unwanted touching. And she is a minor. Ursula, unclench your fists.
I'll tell you what. What if we go to the picnic table where you can still see?
She doesn't want to leave the accompaniment of a parent. And you do not have the legal right to question a minor without the parents or a legal representative present.
So we can ask. If wants to come out, she can do that.
Where's her lawyer? She has an attorney.
We need a lawyer right now.
Oh, bullshit! Bullshit!
Trying to make everything.
It's called...
Security.
Oh, so you don't believe in the Constitution? Did you not swear an oath to the Constitution? She has a Fifth Amendment right.
Right.
And a Sixth Amendment right. What? Right? What, you say rights don't matter?
That's not what I said. So she has a right, not a requirement. Those are two different things.
Right means it is a requirement, as in you cannot take it away.
Okay. All right. So let's go walk over that picture.
She has the right to refuse, Officer Hughes.
She does not.
What is she being arrested for? Bullshit, that's an unlawful detainment. What the hell are you doing to a 12-year-old? What the hell are you doing to a 12-year-old? Seriously, she's 12. She's a minor. You are violating her rights. Get a supervisor on scene now. No, now. Release her. Get a supervisor. She can stand right there. She's not going anywhere. Bullshit, it's unlawful detainment. Unlawful detainment. What is your reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime? What crime? What crime? Peggy? What? Oh, 911 request a supervisor. Supervisor, call your attorney now.
Why?
They just put her in handcuffs. We're refusing to walk with them. Hughes put his hands on her. The male cop put his hands on her.
Your daughter's not in any trouble. We just have to.
So why the hell did he put his hands on her?
We need to conduct our investigation. She wasn't being cooperative. We have to separate you.
That don't mean shit. We have the right to not be cooperative. It's called the right to remain silent. Do you know how many freaking oaths y'all are violating? How many constitutional rights? I thought Austin trained better than this. You're even violating the Eye Care Act, your policies. Yes, you are, Officer Willis.
Right, sir. Again, we have Supervisor coming in to speak to you, okay? And elaborate further.
I'm going to stay with the officer. I want female officer.
Okay.
And as a father, I will do what it takes to protect my child from unlawful hands from another man.
Okay.
You understand that, Hughes?
Yes, I do.
I have every right to self-defense and self-defense of a third party, such as my child. And you went hands-on.
Yes, I did.
You escalated.
Okay.
Did you take escalation training, or did Officer Golden teach you how to be a cop?
I don't know an Officer Golden. Take lots of different escalation courses. I can explain exactly what we needed from her and from you.
And we have the right not to talk to you. And you
Didn't need. I wasn't asking for communication at that point.
Oh, you were just so unlawful detainment and unlawful arrest, and then you assaulted and battered my daughter.
Okay.
And I've got it on. I'm recording.
Well, no.
Yes. Excuse me if I stand at an angle, it gets both you and Officer Will. Why do y'all have to escalate? Based upon an anonymous phone call.
I'm not going to get into the exact call that you got. So we have a reliable witness, not an anonymous one.
Oh yeah. Oh. Let me guess. She works for CPI, which means they're stalking us. In violation of the court order. CPS, CPI, Department of Children and Family Services.
I don't think that was our caller, but I don't know. Maybe.
Well, maybe you should verify who it is that called.
That wasn't me, not sure. I know it was verified before we got here.
And maybe you should find out exactly what the hell they supposedly allege we did. Do a fucking investigation.
That's what we're in the middle of doing.
No. Harassing people is not investigating. Putting your hands on my daughter is not investigating.
Well, I tried to explain the security of our investigation. I needed her to be separated.
Security of an investigation.
Yes.
What the hell law is that?
What law is that?
Yeah, Yeah, what law says you have a security to an investigation? Where's your warrant?
I need a warrant to...
In order to be able to detain and secure, as you say, you need a warrant.
I need a warrant to detain someone?
To arrest, or upon probable cause of a crime, not, oh, security of an investigation. That is not a crime. What law is that? What crime does it become? Is that a felony? Is that a misdemeanor? Is that a traffic infraction? What is it, Officer Hughes?
I'm sorry, I've got other people talking in my ear at the same time, so it's difficult for me to talk. But we don't have a traffic infraction.
Obviously.
For required identification or whatever you were mentioning with that earlier. You're right, you're not required to ID. So I don't know what...
How long have y'all been on the force? Less than 6 months? Y'all are both behaving like you're fresh out of the academy.
Okay. So I've been here with APD for almost 2 years now, with a total of 7 years in law enforcement.
Oh, woohoo. Yeah, it's because you're improperly trained somewhere else.
Okay.
Why'd you leave your other department?
Because I got a better job here. There's no disciplinary actions if that's what you're trying to get at.
Were there any possibly pending? Did you leave in lieu of an investigation? Because the way you just put your hands on a 12-year-old female child, Officer Hughes, do you feel proud of yourself putting your hands on a 12-year-old female child like that? Just because she did not want to go off with you alone?
So it's never a good day when we have to put hands on people. I tried to give you...
Oh, so you think it's okay to put it on my daughter? Put your hands on my daughter?
Okay, in what sense?
Well, obviously you have a complex, sir.
Okay. I'm just trying to understand what you're saying.
That you think that you got to put your hands on a female child. And you knew ahead of time she was a child, a minor. You didn't even give the opportunity to ask the mother if she would go as a witness. You immediately put your hands on her before she even had a chance to ask her mother.
So I even told her that she...
Did you not listen to what the hell I was telling you before you put your hands on my daughter?
I heard everything that you were saying. You were trying...
Obviously not. I said maybe she'll go with her mother, and then but because I made that suggestion, put your hands on my daughter immediately after I said that. Now there's something wrong with that.
That's your opinion of how it happened. That's okay. But I gave her the opportunity.
I've got it recorded.
Okay. I told her if she wanted to go inside and get her mother, come out to do that, then we could do that. And she stayed on the step but didn't go inside.
You didn't give her a chance to do shit. You closed the gap and put your hands on her arm twice. 3 times, and then the 4th time was when you cuffed her. Let's see ETA on the supervisor.
I don't know.
Can you request it, please?
I certainly can. I know. The ETA has been requested. My corporal is 2 minutes away.
Corporal?
Yes.
I want a sergeant or better.
Our sergeant is also on the way. Corporal is our first line supervisor, and she's going to be first on scene, but our sergeant is also on the way.
And who's your corporal on duty tonight?
Corporal Padro.
Say again, I'm a little far away.
Corporal Padro. P-A-D-R-O.
Thank you. And who's the sergeant on duty?
Tronco.
All this because somebody called you with no specific details of anything.
Okay.
Got an 18 U.S.C. 1983 lawsuit.
Okay.
Violation of rights under color of law. Because there is no law, you colored so outside the lines, it's not funny.
All right.
What crime did you suspect my daughter of that you had to lay your hands on her? Why is she still... Are you still in handcuffs, Ursel?
Yes, I am, because I refuse to go with a man officer.
So why is my daughter still in handcuffs? What crime is she accused of committing?
Not going with a man officer.
That's not a crime. That's called self-preservation and protection.
Okay.
That's called self-defense. So if my daughter would have whacked you in the gonads, that would have been perfectly fine. And she was about ready to. We taught our daughter to stand up for her rights. We're both veterans.
I can appreciate that.
No, you can't. Because you're violating the Constitution as we speak. And have been within 10 minutes of arriving.
Okay.
And if y'all want to ask, I did have a pocket knife on me and I disarmed myself and left it in the basket of my scooter before when I saw you sitting there.
Appreciate that.
It's technically not a weapon, it's a tool, but
That's our corporal right there.
Officer Hughes, a male officer, escalated on a 12-year-old minor because she refused to walk off with him alone. Officer Hughes here thinks it's okay to take women around out of sight, especially 12-year-old female children. That is totally pedo-creepo. My daughter felt as such and refused to go with him.
Okay.
So, what does he do? He puts his hands on her and handcuffs her for no crime.
Okay. Did he request that she move?
She wanted to have a parent present during any and all questioning,
Okay.
which she has the right to do. A right.
So,
Texas constitutional rights, parental rights. They are allowed here in the state of Texas. Officer Hughes seems to think that it don't matter if someone's 12 or 82 or 102. Rights don't matter.
okay. So, we do have cameras, and there are recording the whole time. So I understand that you said you did not feel comfortable with him alone with her.
No, she didn't.
She didn't?
I didn't say a word. I let her speak for herself.
Okay, I believe...
My wife let her speak for herself.
Okay, I believe the remark you said was pedo-creepo.
Got an 18 U.S.C. 1983 lawsuit.
Okay.
Violation of rights under color of law. Because there is no law, you colored so outside the lines, it's not funny.
All right.
What crime did you suspect my daughter of that you had to lay your hands on her? Why is she still... Are you still in handcuffs, Ursel?
Yes, I am, because I refuse to go with a man officer.
So why is my daughter still in handcuffs? What crime is she accused of committing?
Not going with a man officer.
That's not a crime. That's called self-preservation and protection.
Okay.
That's called self-defense. So if my daughter would have whacked you in the gonads, that would have been perfectly fine. And she was about ready to. We taught our daughter to stand up for her rights. We're both veterans.
I can appreciate that.
No, you can't. Because you're violating the Constitution as we speak. And have been within 10 minutes of arriving.
Okay.
And if y'all wanted to ask, I did have a pocket knife on me, and I disarmed myself and left it in the basket of my scooter before when I saw you sitting there.
Appreciate that.
It's technically not a weapon, it's a tool, but
That's our corporal right there.
Officer Hughes, a male officer, escalated on a 12-year-old minor because she refused to walk off with him alone. Officer Hughes here thinks it's okay to take women around out of sight, especially 12-year-old female children. That is totally pedo-creepo. My daughter felt as such and refused to go with him.
Okay.
So, what does he do? He puts his hands on her and handcuffs her for no crime.
Okay. Did he request that she move?
She wanted to have a parent present during any and all questioning,
Okay.
which she has the right to do. A right.
So,
Texas constitutional rights, parental rights. They are allowed here in the state of Texas. Officer Hughes seems to think that it don't matter if someone's 12 or 82 or 102. Rights don't matter.
okay. So, we are, and we do have cameras, and they are recording the whole time. So I understand that you said you did not feel comfortable with him alone with her.
No, she didn't.
She didn't?
I didn't say a word. I let her speak for herself.
Okay, I believe...
My wife let her speak for herself.
Okay, I believe the remark you said was pedo-creepo. So at no point...
In case this goes on to YouTube,
Okay.
I'm being careful of the language I am using.
Okay, well, these are not allowed to be turned off. So this records...
It doesn't matter. Cops every day commit crimes on their body cams, and it takes an act of Congress to hold them accountable.
Okay, so your complaint is that he put her in handcuffs.
My complaint is that he put hands on her to begin with,
Okay.
without a crime.
Okay, was he giving her a lawful order to do something?
No, he was not.
Officer Hughes, were you giving her an order to investigate a criminal offense?
Yes. I was trying to separate her for the security of the investigation.
What law is that?
Disobey.
An order? No. The law to separate for security. A minor has the right to be questioned in front of a parent or legal guardian or their attorney. She has an attorney.
Okay.
And when I mentioned that to Officer Hughes and Officer Willis, they say it don't matter.
She's not being charged with a crime. We are merely investigating a disturbance that we were called here for.
Investigate, but investigation does not mean detainment and unlawful arrest.
If they are involved, we do have to question, yes.
How do they know she's involved with anything? Because
we do separate the parties when we speak to them, so that way one party can feel comfortable.
She is a minor. She could have gone with her mother if she wanted to. And as I was telling Officer Hughes, as I was speaking and saying,
yes,
she doesn't feel comfortable going with a male. If she would like to go with her mother,
okay,
she can. Before we even had a chance to request her mother to come out, he was approaching her, going after her, and closed the gap and grabbed hold of her arm and started twisting it around her back.
okay. So what would you like done now?
And total in violations of the ICARE Act.
Okay.
Y'all have not respected our citizens' rights or anything.
Okay.
You're in violation. He's in violation of policy.
Did the officers inform you on why they were here to begin with?
Investigating some physical altercation that didn't happen.
Okay, but we don't know that. When we come
So
in, we don't know
that
what
don't
the
mean
situation
shit.
is. Actually, it does, because we need to make sure that...
Yeah, and we have the right not to say anything. You continue your investigation. You go back to the caller to get more details or to figure out what the hell's going on. You don't turn around and put a 12-year-old minor as a male caught in handcuffs.
Well, we are going to detain everybody involved until, like you said, we are able to talk to and speak to the person.
Oh, so you just think it's okay to unlawfully detain and arrest children
I don't believe
without a
that's
crime?
lawful.
What law then? What law says you can separate like
Right
that?
now, we're not enforcing a criminal offense because we're still investigating.
Okay.
I understand and respect the fact that you don't.
So therefore, AKA suspicion.
You don't
Is
want
suspicion
to-
a misdemeanor, a felony,
we
is it a traffic violation?
just
Then you
had-
don't have anything to put handcuffs on anyone.
We do have a detention.
What probable cause? What reasonable or takeable suspicion of a crime to arrest her?
just-
She is currently under arrest over there.
You do not want me to speak. That's fine.
I want the sergeant.
Okay, then she can go ahead. That's not the sergeant. Our sergeant is coming. If you want to speak to her, that's fine. But as of right now, everybody's going to sit.
I'm tired of being harassed. And that's what happened with this so-called caller. It was a harassment.
Okay, so we don't know that. I've never met you. I don't think Mr. Hughes has ever met you. We don't even know the caller because we haven't even gotten to that point yet. But if somebody...
You should know the caller before you come out.
Actually, we go to the immediate...
Okay. Okay, so Austin PD believes in swatting people, basically.
No.
That's what you're doing. This is technically what you're doing, is swatting us.
Swatting means that people are using us to do that to other people.
Exactly.
That's not us doing it.
What?
We are going to respond to a disturbance.
So you believe that it's okay for people to be swatted?
No, I don't. And
Unlawful. Well, then what are you doing? Then what are they doing? Showing up, putting handcuffs on my daughter, putting hands on my daughter with no lawful reason. Just because she didn't want to go off with a male officer. Wait a minute, there's a female officer on scene. She could have went with my daughter. But he refused to even, his ego got the better of him. And didn't want to switch out. Him talking to a male. Oh wait, I'm 6'2" and almost 400 pounds. And his ego, I can go after a female, but I'm not going to stand up to the male that's twice my size. Even though he's a disabled veteran. Because he's a chicken shit, he's a coward. So it's okay to go after my daughter. But you couldn't stand there and question me and be the one talking to me. Male to male.
So at this point, is it just the sergeant that you want to speak with?
Yeah, because I want to file a complaint on Hughes.
Well, perfect. You can talk to Sergeant Trumka, okay?
Because that is totally... I'd hate to be his girlfriend or wife or whatever. Or significant other. Because that is totally roid raging. That is totally aggressiveness. Escalation that was uncalled for. Literally, I sat there and said 3 times, she's a minor. Before he put his hands on her the first time.
Okay.
So he already knew she was a minor and that she wanted a parent present. Which was obvious. She was even saying so. She didn't want to move from near where her parent was present, because I was sitting in my scooter right there.
Where is...
My wife is inside the RV.
Okay, is she okay?
Because, yeah, we have a dog that likes to bark. She's not aggressive, but she's a brindle in color Tennessee Treeing Walker.
Okay.
Tennessee Treeing Brindle, which is sometimes mistaken for pit bulls because of the brindle coloring. And with officers like Hughes, who are such a coward, my wife is afraid that people like him might shoot our dog.
Okay, so she's in there with...
Even though she likes to bark, she can be somewhat protective, but she's mostly just a licker and a lover.
Okay, I think I heard it when I was coming out. The dog. So at this point, you just want to talk to the sergeant to make a formal complaint, and then...
And to have my daughter released, because there's no crime here.
Have we even gotten to figure out what is going on?
I haven't, but Officer Willis may have. I don't know what she's done.
Okay, and then you said apparently somebody's calling harassing you?
Yes.
We know who the caller is?
I don't know. He said.
No, I'm saying
Hughes has made 2.
You said
I saw a person on their phone hovering around, and it looked like if anything, they worked for CPI, CPS, whatever you want to call them, BCFS.
Okay, so have you encountered this before? People calling police on you?
Yes.
Okay. Is it the same thing, causing a disturbance? Is that what they say?
Oh, last time my wife yelled help because she requested help because of a bag split, and she came back from Family Dollar. You know how they made the bags cheaper these days?
Yes.
And she had it overloaded. It was laundry day. She came back, the bag ripped. She yelled help. Somebody called the cops on us back in December, and we've had CPS up our ass ever since.
Okay.
Because Officer Giglio showed up and filed a false report.
Okay. So is that why the hesitation to talk to us today was?
Our rights are our rights to begin with.
Of course.
And my daughter, because of that shit and all the drama with that, because my wife, I have disabilities. My wife has disabilities. My wife has cancer. She's dying. She's on me and her are both on borrowed time to begin with.
Sorry to hear that.
Okay, my wife was supposed to have been dead before our daughter was even born. Okay, heck, or at least in a wheelchair. She's up and walking and everything else now. But she's been having a lot of trouble lately because the stress has been causing her tumors to spread. And she's had a couple of mini strokes recently.
Is there something that we should check on her today about because of all
No,
this?
she's already been seen.
Okay, because she was the one who called again.
Yes, my wife called because I requested her call because of what Officer Hughes did.
Okay.
I told her to call her attorney because I have an attorney, she has an attorney, our daughter has an attorney, Mr. Aaron Azell, for the existing case.
Okay, so what we can do...
And conveniently, this is before another court hearing on Monday.
Is that involving us, or...?
The December 27th incident that was dismissed without prejudice in February, but now they're trying to force us into services.
Okay.
They brought a separate case for forcing into services using the same stuff from December 27th. They've totally been violating due process and every other Texas state law and family court.
Okay.
But what do you expect for a judge that's only been on the bench for less than a year?
Well, as far as today goes, what we can do, you can file your formal complaint. We can get your information.
Oh, I will. I already got Officer Golden in trouble.
Information.
What is that, badge 8900?
And then you can follow up that, okay? But as far as we will call the caller and see what it is that they were calling for. And do you believe that that was the same person who called us the last time? Because we can check.
I don't know who called for the first time.
And again, we will follow up on that. But once that is done and concluded.
As far as I know, it was Officer Golden himself and cities that was going by that called the first time in December. Because at that point, I had already done an IA, I had already done OPS report on him.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd already done a report on him at that point.
Okay.
And it was in the process of being transferred to IA at that time, and it did get to IA, and IA did investigate and found all because he failed to identify.
The officer.
Officer Golden, badge number 8900.
Okay.
Well, he didn't so much fail to identify as he treated it like me asking for his name and badge number was reason for him to draw down and shoot me because he considered it a personal threat.
Okay.
That was his exact words.
Okay.
He considers someone asking for his name and badge number a personal threat. I'm an ordained minister. If I ask for a name and badge number, you never know. If it's a good encounter, I might be praying that you have safe duty.
Well, it is our policy to give it to you anyways, and that's why they're clearly displayed.
Yes, the Eye Care Act requires such things.
Okay.
Which I have read the Austin Eye Care Act.
What is your last name?
I refuse to give it.
In order to do the complaint, I need your information so I can put it on the form so they can contact you.
Officer Hughes, go over.
We can go over.
Because I don't want retaliation. There is a huge fear of retaliation because of what's happened already.
I get your hesitation, sir. We can come over here if you're comfortable. You okay? Last name?
Miller.
First name?
Eric, Echo, Romeo, India, Charlie.
And then phone number?
It's already on record with OPA and IA.
Okay, I can't have access to those records.
If you put in 6822 Onion Creek Drive, they will pull this address. They will have the record.
Okay.
And that's all that counts.
That's fine. Mr. Miller, do you want to give me your birthday?
That's already part. That's already.
It's on 6822 Onion Creek.
Yes, from a
And you said
from a prior call from the December 27th incident.
I will look that up. Do you know what that incident was labeled, titled? Disturbance, family disturbance.
I don't know what Gilio put in her report.
Okay, it was an email?
Officer Gilio, yes. Or Giglio if you want to do the southern version, but yeah.
Okay.
The New York version, the proper Italian pronunciation or Italian Greek pronunciation is Gilio.
Okay.
Giglio.
It was December 27th.
Was that incident, and I refused to give her ID too. That's what part of the incident there.
We can find her
because of the whole. But it's all linked with the Bender incident and stuff, like the original call for Bender.
Officer Bender.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in November and end of November, early December.
Okay.
When him and Golden. Pardon me. I forget whether it was Bender or Golden. The one that was badge number 8900.
Okay.
That part I remember right off. And I have there was Golden and Bender were both in the patrol unit doing a double, together on patrol.
Okay.
If I remember right, Bender was driving and did all the talking.
Okay.
Golden was in the passenger seat, sitting back, trying to hide like he wasn't being seen.
Okay.
At the end of the interaction, which I think was a BS interaction to begin with, I asked for names and badge numbers for both of them. Bender gave me his, no problem. But to be honest, because it was unmemorable because he was, Bender's the name. I remember the name.
Yeah.
Just because of Futurama,
Okay.
the robot.
Yeah.
That part was mostly uneventful as far as I was concerned. The interaction wasn't even worth reporting because it could have been an unlawful interaction. It could have been
But it occurred here.
It occurred over here in this area.
Okay.
And but it was I didn't care who was right or who was wrong on the cause for the interaction.
Okay, and that's the one with Bender
and Golden.
Okay.
And November, December, it was a cold, rainy night, and basically they made me walk out in the middle of the street barefoot.
Okay.
They literally they were pulled closer to the curb, and then they pulled out to the middle of the street.
Oh. Okay.
In the cold, wet rain, seeing a disabled veteran come walking out to them.
Oh. Okay.
Which I thought was BS, but I didn't. I didn't even report that much too much.
Yeah.
No, it was basically the attitude of Golden when I asked for
I know Bender. Yeah, I'm familiar.
Golden. They're both about the same age. They're both.
Okay.
I'm getting older. I'm 49. I just turned 49, but they both appeared in my mind's eye older than me.
Okay.
Okay. It's hard to, this is Texas. It's hard to tell anymore. I mean, my daughter is 12, and she looks like she's 18 almost because of her.
I would not have guessed 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
6/9, 2012, born in Syracuse, New York.
They all look like babies to me, so.
As you get older, they all look like.
Yes, they do. Yes, they
But
do.
anyways.
November, you didn't feel, it wasn't too memorable? You not really?
The interaction was who was right, who was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Neither here nor there.
Okay.
Not actionable in any way.
Okay.
But at the end, I was polite. Like I said, who was right, who was wrong, didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked for both of their names and badge numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Golden popped up with an attitude because he was like trying to hide, like he wasn't part of it. Don't know who, I'm not here type of thing.
Okay.
Hide. I mean, literally like this in the back, back of his seat.
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen they do that.
Hiding behind, trying to hide behind the B pillar.
Okay.
Okay. I saw him. I was like, and your name, name and badge number, officer. Officer Golden, 8900. Quick, you turn on the red light, piss faster. I was like, what's your problem with giving your name and badge number? Well, I consider it a personal affront, a personal assault. That if somebody asks for my name and badge number, there's going to be trouble.
Oh, okay.
That...
I remembered that.
Because that means someone asks for his name and badge number, that type of escalation, like what Hughes just did with my daughter, it's going to get somebody killed. That's why I had my wife call back to 911, even though they're out here to make sure a supervisor was requested on
No,
scene.
She did. She did. Both of us. We both came out.
Because him putting his hands on my daughter, she's still over there in handcuffs.
Well, first we're kind of paying attention to you, and we're not even doing what we.
There's how many officers, and one of them can at least take her out of cuffs. She's sitting over there nice and safe. There's how many officers around here? Trust me, look at how big she is. She don't run, she waddles.
Okay.
Okay, she don't move fast.
Okay.
That's part of the reason why I was happy to finally get blessed with that scooter, is to help encourage her to go out here on the trails, getting her to walk about a mile a day and slowly increasing her.
Okay, well, how about this? I will have those female officers talk to her, figure out what's going on. We are going to make a phone call to see who called us and see what the deal with that person was, because they did say it was physical. Okay, so that's why we got here kind of quick.
I kicked at the ground by my daughter because there's a cat that when it was a kitten,
I think I saw that one.
when it was a kitten,
Yeah.
we tried to take care of it and protect it from the elements, plus it's a dog park.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
dogs
okay.
are kitties, okay.
Okay, so you kicked like the ground and.
I kicked the ground next to my daughter.
Okay. Okay, maybe they
Because
saw
she has been
something
told
else.
multiple times to leave the cat alone. We took care of it. It decided it wanted to get out and get pregnant
Okay.
and not catch mice that have found their way into our RV.
And bring out babies.
And we're trying to encourage the cat to move on, go find
Okay.
somewhere else to live.
Okay. Okay.
But my daughter
so
keeps.
that's what happened was the.
I yelled at my daughter for holding the cat
Okay. And had we.
and lying to me about it. I mean, literally, I come around. Did you just have the cat? Were you just
She
messing
told
with
you
it?
no.
No.